In that judgment, yeah, I will say, glory be unto Jah, Prince Emanuel, Charles Edwards, and the Gentile nation of Ethiopia. And before I not bring this one to remembrance before I proceed, I am going to bring that one forward. Why would the Rasta woman and the Rasta man continually or continuously try to be a major player in the brainwash of people who they label so-called black? By helping the United Nations and whichever 72 nations there were to force a light-skinned man in the history of these dark-skinned people as their God. Why would the Rasta woman and the Rasta man participate in misleading their own people? If you look at the year when this brethren arrived in Jamaica, it was the year 1966. And if you look keenly, it was 3 6s in that year. One was turned the next way, which is the one that can be identified, or the one that they displayed as the 9. Now, I and I ancestors told I that any man who come as God and King, that is the Antichrist. But because of the Rasta woman and the Rasta man, they are trying to keep this lie alive within our nation and our people. And that is one of the main reasons why we find a lot of people who are righteous among us and who are members of our Gentile nation rallying around the man called Ibrahim Traore, currently in Burkina Faso. Now, if that man wasn't wearing the uniform and the gun, so many people who chose Barabbas from that time would not remember who he was. Because once they see that uniform of brutality, they know that is Barabbas in the flesh. Now keep in mind, Jamaican, well, not Jamaican youths. Keep in mind Gentiles who are labeled Jamaicans, that the white Rasta that you see come to Jamaica wearing the army fatigue, that man is an undercover CIA agent. Because when the CIA noticed that they couldn't get no man from Jamaica who wore lockse to participate into the killing of certain man and women who wore lockse and was trodden mighty and fiery, they brought in the white man with the lockse. Now, how can you find this guy? he has blue eyes. Natural born killer. That's an Aryan brother right there. That brethren right there is well trained. He has killed many of our people. Yes, when I say many, I mean many of our people, because the Aryan nation only train with live target, because they want their people to just look at our lives like it means nothing. So those missing people that you see all over the world, women and children, male also, they are used for life training for Aryan children. And if you notice that these people can hit a human body with a bullet almost accurately, because that's what they train with. They train with us. So today, as I speak to the world and my people, I would like my people to understand that we have family members now that are trapped in someone's basement, that are trapped in buildings that have high security clearance, because they were taken there by people with high security clearance, so-called, that they made up. They're at certain churches, because we have to understand that the Catholic Church played a major part in the underground slave trade. So there is no way we could be looking for children anywhere in the world and we're not looking at the Catholic churches in those countries, because those are processing centers to move the people who look like us out. Okay. So I do not know why the Asian spirits want to clean the house of Rastas. The only thing I know is I was chosen to do such. There are men out there, like even Junior Gang, who is trying to prove that if your locks is short, you're not a Rasta. Well, I believe so too. I believe the only way you can really be a Rasta is if you have a heart of brutality against us dark-skinned Gentiles and against your own self. So no man would love himself and denominate himself, because every man belongs to a nation. We have Aryans out there. We have Asians. We have Indians. We have Spaniards. We have Arabs. We have Gentiles. And we have Jews. Now, all of those people, except for the Jews and the Gentiles, they shared one land. Now, who's wondering where all those people came from that Adolf Hitler had in Germany during the Holocaust? All those people was taken from the land called America. Because we had a set of people who they lived in the country where it was cold, and a set of people who lived in the sunshine. So it was the Jews and the Gentiles. So slavery didn't just attack the people who was of a dark skin. It also attacked the people who was of a light skin. And that's how Hitler got those people in Germany, because they took them from America, meaning from Canada, Newfoundland, and other places in America where we can say, well, those are snow places. Yes. Now, when I try to tell my people that even though we have the color, there are different species among us. And I mean species that are vicious, just as you can see the alligator and just as you can see the crocodile. Why? Because it is a crocodile ruler system And I guarantee you that the vaccine that these young children get from birth is of a crocodile genes. Who notice man will not stop competing against each other? Who notice man will not stop until he can identify the man who is better than the other man? Now that is not man. Man is interested in being the father of foundation. He is interested in being that foundation where the woman hold up. And when I say hold up in a breja, when I say hold up, I mean say the sistren is the backbone of the essence of life. And it's also the head of the house too. But no regular girl can be the head of the house, you know. Don't forget that. Because the woman who allowed the man to uncover her man nakedness between her leg, she cannot be nothing, because that day she killed the whole house and sunk a whole ship. And brought a king to a piece of bread. So when I trod amongst the Rasta man in Jamaica, and I go to the Naya Bingi and other places, I noticed one thing was always present. This lust for violence, and I mean serious violence. And this is the first place I saw it. I was in 9 Mile at a Bingi, at 21 days Bingi there. And a young brethren, one of I tribesman, saw an Ancient and said, Ancient, why are you preaching that white woman is the devil and you are with a white woman now? You know what that man did? That Rasta man did? When that young youth who is growing his locks want to find out from his Ancient why he is of a double standard, that man took out a knife as big almost as a sword and attacked that young man so fiercely that it took at least 20 men to save that young man's life. Only because he asked a question, you know, to the man who is saying that the white woman is the devil. And he's standing beside the person who he described as the devil. A young one just want to know, how does that work? Because maybe that young one was a one who saw a white woman and probably loved her or liked her, and he just want to clarify something, so he asked an Ancient Rasta. That Ancient almost killed that one. And I mean several attacks, you know. They have to sustain this brethren more than one time and take the knife from him just for that question. Alright? I left there and I went to the Valley of Decision. The Valley of Decision is run by Aya and Aita. And one morning, there was something going on the night before where Jack Creation sound played at Aya's place that night. The Valley of Decision. The jungle in Belmont. And one of Jack Creation man, who is also a man who wear locks and identify himself as a Rasta man, attack a Rasta brethren on the grounds in the morning and bust up the whole of him head. Pure blood upon the grounds, brethren. And the man with him head bust up a pure blood all over him body, and I turned to Aya and said, Aya, how can something like this occur in a place where it is supposed to be under the protection of Rasta? I hear one man answer and said, that boy, they get too much trouble. Remember, I know? The man get too much trouble, and chop him up for that, you know. A Rasta man get chopped up by Rasta only because Rasta identified that this man give too much trouble. Not because this man is a threat to his life, not because this man is a threat to Rasta, nothing. He's just trying to show this man that he can demolish him as a person and as a human being. And remember, you know, this youth is trying to identify himself as a Rasta because he want to leave out of the shit stem in Jamaica and join a group of brethren who him believe that those brethren can carry him to another level of life so him can walk away left the darkness. When mother and him grandmother did grow up in her, well, I chop up that youth. Alright? I leave from Dessa and I went to Earl China Smith. Yeah, him live right off of Eastwood Park Road. So anybody can tell you that is a very violent Rasta man. That man is not a joke. That man they take machete and run down Rasta. I mean, now tell us a Rasta or Gentiles or whoever you want to choose to be. I mean, now tell us say you fi make any man arm you, you know. But me I tell us say you not fi arm no man. So there was a brethren down by China Smith place now named Emanuel, a young brethren. And him sing a song that says mankind must evolve. Yeah, it was a different type of brethren, like him come from a time where probably if we hear him now, we may understand. Said this brethren it come with a prophecy. China Smith run down Emanuel with a machete from him yard, go straight in the square halfway tree, and everybody out there will wait for bus see him. Earl China Smith where you see play with Bob Marley on stage at the One Love concert. The man where you see hold the guitar and the khaki suit so and a strum it. The man where responsible for the bingistra right now in the yard. The same brethren there. Violent. When I say violent, I mean violent to the max. No joke thing. And right now, if the government of Jamaica needs some Rastas to participate in any governmental thing, it's Earl China Smith them goes to. I mean the Labour right government, you know, where it attack Rasta, you know. Not just the government. Because if you notice, the bingistra have whole heap of power under Babsy Grange. Simple. So, some of the man them where the I say, Martin Planner and those brethren were sent in to destabilize I country of Jamaica, but make it look like that they were helping by bringing a false leader onto I just to turn the brethren them now who was righteous within themselves now into gunman, film children and grandchildren, just like I say fantan mojah them come out now and them a glamorize the gun. Anthony D, Turbulence, Sizzla, certified murderer. That is without a doubt. Luciano, certified murderer. That is without a doubt. And when I say without a doubt, I mean Luciano have him own spreader news where his vehicle was used, I think in the parish of Westmoreland or one of those places, to kill 2 elderly people. And then when intelligence traced the vehicle back to Luciano's house, the man who is wanted for committing that crime was killed in Luciano's house by the police. And the police said that Luciano was in that house shooting at them too. And they found a tunnel that lead to another street and them say him escape from there. So now you tell me, Luciano have to be a trained gunman? He man on a play man. Because the night when time Garnet Silka dead, Luciano they on stage I watch Garnet Silka go up in flames. And then after that, then introduce him as the new brethren now I come take over Garnet Silk thing. These brethren are not a play man, a pure military suit them wear. If you check the history of some of them not come from Jamaica, them going to live there a long time. And then them use these brethren and take them all around the world now to represent the Asians them in the hills when no know nothing. But only through the Asian, them was brainwashed now to believe, said, them are Rasta. I saw them get the judgment. So until the brethren about Bobo Hill, the priest them, started to denounce all of the stern disciples them, meaning all the men them who slept with Emmanuel's wife Rachel. Because that was the thing that started the deception at the EAGICC, the Ethiopia, Africa, Gentiles, International, Congress and Church of Salvation, formed by I and I brother, Ja Prince Emanuel Charles Edwards, who is the God in flesh of I and I people, who is the God in flesh that Marcus Garvey prophesied about. Look to the east, the coming of a black king. Alright, everyone knows that when I have this complexion, them use this complexion to define I as black. Well, I tell you, say, no color can't represent I after today because I come from a nation who is of goddess and gods. And that nation is called Gentiles, and we come from the land of Ethiopia that spread from Jamaica, go through Cuba, all the way through Canada, Belize, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, all the way to Newfoundland. And I'm telling everyone today that Marcus Garvey was an intellect. And Marcus Garvey said 7 miles of Black Star Line are coming into harbor. When Marcus Garvey went to the place to Africa, he went there on a crusade to bring his people back. Coming into harbor, if we was going anywhere, Marcus Garvey would have said 7 miles of Black Star Line are going out the harbor. Listen carefully like what Bob Marley telling you. If you listen carefully, you will hear. 10,000 careless people who call themselves Ethiopian shall perish. And who do you think those people are? They're going to look just like my skin. Because first of all, when you call yourself Ethiopian, you are among a bunch of white, light-skinned people who are of 5, 6 different nations, and every one of those nations hate this. No. The alliance that was formed by Adolf Hitler, Mussolini was a part of that alliance, you know. And then Adolf Hitler endorsed the dwarf man that you are trying to tell I, as a towering king, that I should bow down to that man because he is my God. I and I, God is within I, honorable Empress and Lords. How can any man, after him walk into the house of creation, give him a crown of pure gold upon his head, pure gold, and then he have a thirst to suck the life out of another individual, especially another one who was crowned with pure gold? Sizzla, where is the Rasta brethren that has been missing from Judgment Yard for all these years, and his sister is all over the place trying to get that young man back? We need our nation man back. Sizzla Kalonji, Miguel Collins, Count Jockula, Sizzla. Because I want you to look at the names of these people, you know. Miguel, that is a Spanish man. Collins is the vampire that sucked the blood of people. So these guys' names are strategic, just like Martimo Planner. I deal with the planning. Okay, we're going to call you Martimo. 2 Spanish men, you know, Miguel and Martimo. And then we have another one known here, Miguel Lorna, next one. 3 Spanish men. But only because they come in the form of the roast breadfruit. Dark outside, white inside. Capleton was living in Papine, you know. And there was a killing that went on with some people that live next door, David House. Or on the same street where David House was. And that killing, the grapevine suspected Capleton. And then you have to understand the tradition of these men, you know. These men are planted among us, you know, not because you see them come through the grassroots and grow up in the ghettos among us, you know. They know what their purpose are. I mean, if you look at even the editor for Ebony or Jet magazine back in the days, this man had a swastika on his chest. And he was editing things for the people that look like us. And he was a trained swastika brethren. And that man said that day he felt proud to wear that swastika. Alright? Capleton is a prophet. Bunny will I say I'm a false prophet. Okay. Creation said, none of I and I prophet, bone shall be broken. Capleton drop off a stage and broken ribs. I assure you, the spirit them will cry out, brethren, the one them want to carelessly take them life, I follow the eye them and I destroy the eye them, because first of all, I and I ancestors them no see no changes in none now, because we no beat down on the brother with 1 million sin span on the back. Brother, I arrived with Paul Elliott in Jamaica. And I hear Paul Elliott. Paul Elliott was singing the song and said, save me, oh Jah. And I hear Paul Elliott make a phone call and say to somebody, say, the Rasta boy there. I'm hear a woman answer and say, no. And the way how I couldn't believe, because me I look upon Paul Elliott as a man where gunman kill off his mother and his father me here. So him should have been one of the most righteous man. And who don't want even to wreck nobody house. Him supposed to be a man where he might travel as a man of right. And when I hear the brethren say so, I couldn't help myself. I have to say, Paul Elliott is a Rasta man. You call that boy there while talking to a woman? I said the dread gone or something. Me say, it's a Rasta man you deal with some brother. You and you identify yourself as a... Alright. The way I shot, I couldn't go back nowhere with him again. Because I produced a song with him named Deceiving the People. Deceiving the people, you know. The man who sing the song named Deceiving the People, you know. He might deceive a next Rasta brethren home by sneaking around with the Rasta man, woman, only because him see him as a Rasta boy. And it's a Rasta man, see the next man who have on him locks will identify himself as a Rasta boy, not a regular Babylon, you know, a Rasta man. So I show the eye them said them brethren are easy to find a pure army fatigue, them dressed in a fantan mojah, the #1 suspect you know for Jamaican's son murder. Just think. And if Jamaican was a righteous brethren, there is no way the whole world that see his son get crucified. Check where I show the eye. That means that Jamaican is a man where he have something pan film back right now when need to come off. So I tell the eye them, brethren and sisters, righteousness you don't have to go seek. I show the eye. I and I there bobo, 2 bobo are fight with cutlass all turban drop off a head. Inside of the place, I tell the eye them. Woman all are coming in a miniskirt, the bubble them are bringing out some man. In a Emanuel place, I bring Emanuel name to shame, you know. I bring out some woman in a Emanuel place when you see all the clothes where the woman them have on. And when you look past some of them, you can see so some of them are pure little girl. So I must buy the man them, I buy the woman them. Because none of the sisters them was none of the brethren them wife. And a pure priest and prophet and king the man them call themselves. And that I tell the eye. And I entertain warmongering and war down in the place where them I try to convince people say it name Zion. So I show the eye them say Zion is a holy place. But I the slave them were in there and I need to get out. Yeah man, Junior Reid and him son them man. Beat Jawain. When me tell us beat Jawain, when me say Jawain, him chip up. Then try attack one next Rasta brethren name. But I never remember film name, but him and Bo Derek a family. Tall and dark skin, Whitmore. Something like so. Yes, I am. Then at the same place, I see man attack Jack Hero if he beat him in a Junior Reid place. The same judgment come back on the Rasta man. That night they are pure chop up going in there, pure blood there on the ground, gunshot, all type of different thing going inside of the Rasta place. Right after the Sabbath. When time of the kettle jump for rule this one, the Naya Bingi 1-2 order. My brothers and my sisters. It is a house of violence, a house of whoredoms. When you see the woman them with the Rasta man, them have a Jamaican worldwide brother. It's not no normal thing. Them find the worst Jezebel and Delilah and Babylon. I assure the eye. And every once in a while, them find one little unsuspecting Rasta woman with them go unleash all of that pan and then she know. She turned Jezebel and Delilah. Brethren, when we look on the things that we are going, and we look on the movements of the Rastas, can you imagine Queen Ifrica up on YouTube and say she did catch Janine and daughter Mitzi were connected to Fred Locks, the two of them are perform lesbian act while the bingy are going pan a boat, pan Ras Ivy organized bingy, you know, and that for sure say if Ras Ivy organize a bingy and two sodomite depend that bingy, that means say Ras Ivy organize something in the name of Sodom and Gomorrah and know say that's exactly what him did, you know. Because there's no way Ras Ivy could have been a man of instruction coming from I and I, Goddess and God, El Selassie I, and then him keep a bingy, and at that bingy, you know, two women are perform oral sex on each other, you know. So just imagine how much bingy, you know, two men that they have sex because of pure tent there. The man them come for just attack I and I, Asian say. So I show all the I and I people them this time who identify as Rasta, I show them so the name Gentile, I just on the locks on the Avan. It's a crown of pure gold. On the crown with that this name so. When everything gone and everything, but friend you come on and eat this and you commit more. I and I mother and father now have no lots and part with you. Are you them that talk about? Yeah, until you hear them say if you're right or not you. We have to chop it off. So may I make you know right or now. Rasta we are chopping off out of our nation. A Gentiles we name. We don't name no lesbian, we don't name no Batman, and we don't name no Rasta. And we don't name no Christian, and we don't name no Muslim, no Mormon, and we don't name black either. Lightning pan colors tragedy. Then the Japanese Rasta now from earthquake, they would theme wife. Remember, you know, earthquake is a man where him supposed to be something like a high priest, you know, because him a call the bingy a Malvern, you know, brethren. And this man here try uncover next man who say my Rasta from a different nation, which is a Japanese man, nakedness through theme wife, you know. An earthquake, may I tell you this man, you could have ball a million, you could have get a million attorney because I know it's a murderer no sue, murderer think of it, kill for silence. Joshua charge you for that Japanese brethren, the murder, where then stab up down a Scots Pass. Because of you did there with the woman. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor for his wife, brethren. So that means, say, you cut off after to the earthquake. We cut you off from the Gentiles nation. Stay over Rasta. Because I tell us a Rasta if you go pay for all the murder of Peter Tosh and the crucifixion of Jack Prince Emanuel, Charles Edwards. We have to go pray for the orchestrated, attempted assassination against Bob Marley. Martin will plan a lightning upon you anywhere you're there. Because you never escape this judgment here. Because you come back and face it. Until your flesh drop. Your spirit up on fire, boy. Praise Bob. Where dog bite you and kill you. Down a Ghana. When police come a back a wall and say where Prince Emanuel there, you point out which part Prince Emanuel left peace, Bob. Depths of the earth, bowels of the beast. That means a dog nyam piece of priest, Bob, and shit him out the bowels of the beast. Not one of you shall escape this judgment. Remember when I, Joshua Christ, tell you, because all of the righteous them want to trod down and murder for no reason at all. Here and silk your name call upon your brother murder. Tony Rebel, when you cheat with skanking dread wife, which is Queen Ifrica, them lose a child. Because she'd have to run with left her man and come be with you because them is poor and she'd have seek a way out. And you have to sodomize her first. And when skanking confront you and tell her, say you're there with her, you bring one little brethren come talk about everybody at talk about you're there with her. And then after you married her and breed her now, then everybody know. Say you want devil. Thou shalt not covet thy brother's house. When Queen Ifrica have to run come to Tony Rebel, because she poor. and she want a bus in the music, she have to run left or pick the down there with Skanking Judd, who's them father. Skanking Judd want to see a dance beside that Dennis Brown back in the days. They pick a ball 9 nights, Skanking Judd run next door for go get buy a Pampers. Because the mother not there. When he come back, the pitney up on the ground. Not even know, so the pitney drop off of the bed and crack him bumbuckler skull. Tony Rebel, you're charged for the murder of Skanking Judd son or a daughter. Yeah, the son lived, the daughter dead. Well, Tony Rebel, you're charged for the murder of Skanking Judd daughter. Aye, freaker. Wash out that evil dead devil vagina there and left out of Sodom and Gomorrah. Then I look pan and tell I saying go down a man to go be go say I ta head in a Rasta man lap. Said Rasta Rick there where I talk about the world him and I and some man. Go down one car go at Kingston go meet some brethren. Alric tell I say I have vexed with him for that. But I turn to him and tell him say then Alric, if the I wasn't a part of that, you see my brother, you would have come out of the car, brethren. Because I and I in the car with Zazabella, a Rasta artist from over Portmore, and him bring one 14-year-old girl. And I tell him, say, I nah move in that car there with her. I tell him, say, her father know about him and her. I don't care who know about you and her, brethren. I look up pitney that, a 14-year-old pitney, I want no one Rasta, man. You know I eat that or what? The shepherd have to tend to the flock. No. Not to sodomize the flock, brethren. You know what name tend to the flock mean? It means tend to the flock as a shepherd, as a good shepherd. Know the status of that flock. Yeah. You never supposed to raid the barn, brethren. You're supposed to plant the corn. So as we go along now, we want everyone to know Turbulence and Anthony B with that video circulating, talking about Defender with all those long guns. I am glad that you have finally showed the people who you really are. You are nothing but two gangsters and two pirates that are among us. And two gangsters and two pirates that are bringing Prince Emanuel, Charles Edwards' name to shame. Now the people have identified every one of you. Oh yes. From Reid to Sizzla to Capleton to Turbulence to Jacure. Remember I know? Jacure come and him raid the barn. And after him raid the barn, he come back again and shed a next Rasta man blood. A man will identify as Rasta, but notice the color of the man who him attack and notice the skin color of the man who attack him. Are the same Aryan nation them there amongst I and I, brethren. When you look on I, alright, I will give them a scenario. A deer is thirsty one day, and that deer is drinking some water at a brook. An alligator see the thirsty deer and just and kill that thirsty deer. Look at the man named Sizzla Kolonji. If that is not the spirit of an alligator on that man. Take a good look at him. Look at the man named Capleton and see if you don't see the features and the spirit of an alligator. Because that's who they are. They are alligator rulers, my sisters. They are stern disciple of the lowest, of the filthiest, and of the uttermost parts. So princes and princesses of darkness, I Joshua Christ is here. Because redemption, bless up Style Scott. Style Scott fell by the crush of Delilah. Like many other brethren. Just the same. Peter Tosh, Jacob Miller, Glenford Phipps, Major Warriors, I Uncle Anthony Johnson, Bob Marley, many brethren I show the item. Why? Because we have some brothers who are wolves, who are waiting to see Delilah come out in the street looking for someone to bring down the man who they know is endorsed by our mother and father, Haile Selassie I. Haile Selassie endorsement is not for no 10, 15 guys and girls, you know. One at a time, my sisters and brothers, because only one at a time is fit. Yeah, one at a time is capable, one at a time is able. I mean, look at what we have out there now. Kabaka Pyramid won a Grammy for singing so-called Rasta music, freedom fighting music, you know, because remember, Rasta is the people who come out and sing out their woes, you know. Remember. And this man here came to the people, and the people didn't know him until after Babylon present him, just like how they present the false god, the man that they call Tafari Makonnen. Because when I tell you that is a false god, any man can tell I, Joshua Christ, that I and I, creators, did not create her in their image. I am going to tell you about your blood clot today. Because not because you hate yourself. Don't try to tell I that I hate myself. I assure you that. And don't tell I that I must fall in line with those who are haters of their own self. So you can start hating I and I. Violent and gunman Rasta in Jamaica. Oh yes. The man them connected to Spanglers, them connected to Shower, them connected to every gang in Jamaica. Only thing them have to do is make one phone call and you're dead. So the priest them up at Bobo Hill, me I tell you no, cut ties with all of the brethren them in the reggae music because you are dead because them in a war out a road, you don't understand Jamaican killers up until now. From one of you man them trouble them just say, hey, we're gonna kill one of them Bobo there. And them just take any one of you. Why would a man afraid to come out and denounce the devil only because him stretch out him hand to bribes? You know, a priest. Stop take Juna Reid and Sizzla money, a blood money. Stop take capleton money. Stop take fantan, mojah, Jamaican money, a blood money. Stop take Sizzla money, a blood money, a tears upon it. Mourning and grieving now in the house when the first born soon gone. Why would a man have him home and then create it in the house of Pharaoh when it was the house of I and I? A 4 dead in the wicked house one time. And the brethren them were Jamaica, you know. Because I know say enough Rasta brethren involved in a human trafficking. Because I don't know alone nobody now watch, especially the one them will act like them well up full. Because I want to know this, you know. The brethren named profile down a sentence, you know. When Peter touched dead, him rejoiced. That day when Peter touched dead, you know. I assure them this. And this is another joke thing. If you look on that brethren, you can see that brethren is also a soldier. When you go House of Dread, you can see the Rasta them over there, pure ex-soldier, then come from all about. And they work for the government, them just sit down right there so and congregate at them, infiltrate everything at them, tell police but all of the gunmen them in the ghetto and where they done them, I think because they done them used to trust the Rasta man them and sit down with them and draw a chalice at them care back all information because enough of them are all police and all soldier. I truly don't know. Them bow down to the queen. No man. We bow down to the queen can't come tell I say him is a king. Plain and simple because the brethren who bow down to the queen of England, him could only be a duke. And he was the man with David are. So then say, he was one of them. So them say, yeah man, so John 9, John 9 and daughter Mitzi, I saw their name. If a Rasta go say more life, I know I can't understand how a woman will say she a Rasta I swallow the next 6-string egg in a dung in a fire belly where she knows it could have never manifest in her life. And why a Rasta sister would have try to put her legs between her next woman's leg and then crush out her sister egg, kill her sister children them, kill them before them even get a chance. And talk about say she enjoy that. How can you enjoy death? Brethren and sisters, how can your pleasure be just death? Priest fleego up a bobo like you are the high priest. Take your throne. Because if you not take your throne, a pure bloodshed. And you alone can save them. You know the ways of Emanuel and you respect him. I tell you that. All man who mark X up a Bobo Hill, Ja Prince Emanuel, Charles Edwards say you have to leave. None of you can stay there. All ex-police and ex-soldier have to leave. Go to Scott's Pass. See you later.